Let's do this shit.
How's it going?
Good, dude. Okay. Can I just tell a story real quick that's been on my mind?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It doesn't necessarily have to do with travel or whatever the fuck we're supposed to be talking about on this show, but I got to tell this story because I've just been thinking a lot about it.
Okay, I'm excited.
Okay. So I'm in a group text with a group of guys who we all grew up in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
So one of the more random group texts that I'm in.
Yeah.
Uh, so the other day, one of the guys sends a text talking about another guy that we all know. Let's call him Jake for the sake of the story.
It's not about me,
And
right? It's not like it wouldn't be that obvious. Like Jack and
no,
Jake.
no, Jack and Jake. Actually, this guy's name is very different from Jake. So no, it's
Okay.
not about you.
Okay.
So he says, "Hey, did you guys hear that Jake's dad shit himself on the path behind their house?" Uh, their house backs up to this paved trail that everyone would use to like walk their dog and ride bikes and stuff. So we all know
Okay.
what path he's talking about.
Okay.
So we're like, oh, that's hilarious. Like, oh, he was walking on the path. He didn't make it home in time, and he pooped his pants.
I've honestly
You know
been
who
there.
does? Yeah, who doesn't love a good pants pooping story, right?
Yeah, it's relatable.
It's so yeah. Um, and then the dude who texted that was like, "What the fuck? Why are you guys laughing?" And we're like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, I meant to say he shot himself."
Oh my fucking God. Did they autocorrect or something to shat or
I
shits?
Yeah, I mean, because you know how like Apple text will like autocorrect swear words like fuck and duck or ducking. It's one of my
Right.
favorites.
Or they
So,
like change
or it
the
was
emoji, from a gun
yeah,
to a water gun.
yeah. So that might have been the worst typo slash autocorrect ever. I mean, the story went from like a silly mishap that we could laugh about to like a horrific tragedy because of one letter.
Oh my God, that is terrible. Wait, so how did you guys like handle that? Like I don't even like how would you even like did you have to backtrack everything? Like I would like delete some texts. I would have to like change my demeanor completely. I would have to walk away from my phone.
Yeah, I mean, because like we know the guy, like he's our friend. He's not close enough with us to be in the group text, of course.
Right.
Jake, but
Yeah.
is definitely a dude that we hung out with. So I was like, oh fuck, like that's actually really sad that his dad killed himself. Like that's fucked up. But we just gave our other friend a lot of shit. Like you got to really, if you're about to
No pun
drop a story
intended.
like that, yeah, gave him shit. But yeah, if you're gonna tell a story like that, you got to proofread that text because we were all laughing at a silly poop pants story, and it just turned really dark really quick.
Jesus, talk about shit in the bed there. That's terrible. So I mean, did you guys like was it cool after a while? Like, so I guess he
Yeah,
wasn't in the group chat. So
no, no, he
be
wasn't in
honest,
it.
did you guys laugh about that? Like, did you guys be like, "Wow, that was like a kind of a fucked up typo, like kind of funny in a way?" Like
Yeah,
that
oh
was
yeah,
like,
no,
yeah.
we definitely talked about the typo and that it was funny, and gave our friend shit for whatever the autocorrect. But yeah, so interesting story there.
Wow, dude,
Yeah, just
that sucks, honestly. That's like no joke. But like,
but
yeah, you can't fuck that text up. You got to be 100% on point with that. You
now
can't just
Jack,
like fire off a text like that and have a typo.
yeah. So we learned something that day. Always proofread your text. Proofreading is not just for work, for Slack and things like that. You got to proofread text to friends sometimes too.
But I feel like it's getting harder. Like I feel like I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I send my text, my iMessage, now it'll like autocorrect like multiple words. Like it'll
Yeah.
try to like it'll like finish my sentences for me. I'm like, wait a second, that's not what I was gonna say. Like,
I've been seeing that too. Yeah, they're like, "Oh yeah, you meant that you're going to make a sandwich." And I was like, "No, I was gonna make salmon. Like, don't assume my sandwich
Yeah.
like that.
But now that you bring it up, maybe I will make a
Yeah,
sandwich.
actually,
Like
yeah,
that
maybe I
sounds,
could turn the salmon into a sandwich. That sounds good. Yeah, so
yeah.
maybe they are right.
When autocorrect goes too far, man, I mean, that's
Hmm.
uncalled for.
Have you ever had any
Jeez.
bad auto corrections that, have really fucked you over?
I'm sure I have, but now that they have the like edit functionality, like I feel like that saved me a lot. Like if I was him, I would have like just edited the text.
That
You know
is
what I'm
huge.
saying?
Yeah, that is huge. It's actually huge news for gaslighters because you could say one thing and then edit your text and be like, "No, I didn't say that. You're crazy." So it makes it easier to gaslight people. So
Yeah,
that's good news for gaslighters.
and now this is also another thing, right? It's like, you can only really do that on iMessage. So it's like another plus for that's why I'm only in group chats with blue text because I need to be have full control over what's going on.
Dude, I got to be honest about this group text. The guy who sent it was a green texter.
Wow,
The guy
Steve.
who sent the shit versus shot text, he was an Android user. So I don't know what the fuck Android phones do with their auto correcting, but they really dropped the ball on this one.
Yeah, so this has really uncovered an even larger problem. I mean, this guy has a few things he needs to figure out.
One problem is me. Why am I in a group text with someone with green text? I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. Like I try to stay away from Android users. I don't really want to be friends with them. I don't want to have them in my circles.
Yeah.
Like if I'm out with a group, and some people come up to us and they're like, "Oh, you guys seem really cool," and then they find out one of us is an Android user. I mean, that's social suicide.
Exactly. And now, Steve, let's talk about something that kind of brings it all together, right? It's like because of traveling, I use WhatsApp a lot now. Like, I don't know about you, but like now I don't
Yeah,
even
me
know the
too.
people I'm talking to. Do you even have an iPhone? I have zero idea. I have to text you on WhatsApp. I even meet Americans and I'm texting them on WhatsApp.
Damn. Yeah, you got to vet them. You got to be like, hey, can you send me a screenshot of like your homepage of your
Well,
phone? Just let me see if you have widgets or what. Or
can I see the camera placement on the back of your phone, please? I'm trying to understand. You have three there, two. Like, what's the situation?
yeah, and then yeah, so because if you don't have the green text, there's no way to know. So you got to do that digging for yourself, and then obviously cut them out of your life if you find out they're an Android user.
And I don't want to like keep going harping on this, but it's like, this person I was texting, I was meeting up with them and they were on WhatsApp and I didn't have data, so I sent them a message like a regular text and they were like,
Ooh.
Jack, no one sent me a regular text in years. Like I was
Oh
totally
God.
like look, it was like all like, those automated texts from different services and then it was like my message. I was like, man, I'm sorry. I
Oof.
didn't realize we were that far into WhatsApp, but people love WhatsApp. Like, I
WhatsApp
guess.
is good. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's been working. Yeah, like you said, when I'm international and I got to use it to text my scuba instructor or whatever it might be. Yeah, it comes in handy.
Yeah. Yeah, and now it's even to the point where in America I'm in a few like I feel like are more international group chats that are WhatsApp.
Whoa,
Whoa.
did you see that confetti just come down? What the hell was that?
How does that happen? Oh, whoa.
Are you
Like what the
fucking? Are you?
I don't know how that happens, dude. I don't know why this means confetti. Like, yeah, I don't okay.
Wow. Okay, we're
Okay.
still learning this software, but yeah, okay, that was cool. I think
Yeah.
iMessages can do that too, so that's another shout out.
I have had that thing where it's like I'll do something like this. Wow, yeah, exactly. Where you do you do the thumbs up.
That was cool. Wow.
Wait,
Okay.
Steve, we might have found I feel like I know why mine's doing it and not yours. This is I don't want to put you on the spot, but like I'm on a MacBook right now.
I am too.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I think it's because you're the host of this meeting, and like
Oh,
I'm just like a stupid ass guest, and they're like, you
okay.
don't get to have balloons. You're just like a
Right.
fucking guest.
Right. I'm the podcast producer, so it's like I get
Yeah.
to decide, I get to have the emojis. Yeah.
Damn. That's some God level shit. I mean, you
We'll
literally
work
just
on
made
that.
confetti come down by moving your hands. I mean, that was incredible.
I love technology. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of technology, welcome to Digital Bromads.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, our music played in this one. Shout out Dashki for creating just some incredible beats for our intro music. I mean, I've been just firing that up every day and like dancing to it, like on the speaker. It is fire.
Absolutely. Yeah. Check him out on Spotify, 10 p.m. to close, Austin based.
10
Incredible
p.m. to
bass
close.
player.
That's all one word. 10 is the numbers, right? 1 0, and then the word to closed, and then
Yes.
10 p.m. to close.
Yes, exactly. And so he kind of plays. Just check it out. He's got some great vibes on there, and he did the music for our podcast. We're super thankful. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Big shout out. Um, Sick, dude. Should we talk about our Nomad news story for the day?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this one's interesting, and it ties into our whole remote work vibe that you and I have going on. So the Starbucks CEO, I think he's a newer CEO, but he is, I don't think it's a mandate per se, but he is like strongly encouraging Starbucks employees to return to the office. So if they work at that headquarters in Seattle, they have to work from the office. But he himself, the CEO, is not doing that. So he's not requiring that for himself, just his employees. So they all have to return to work in Seattle while he lives in Southern California, like 1,000 miles away, just being the CEO, laughing at all the people in the cold weather and the rain in Seattle. He's like, yeah, you idiots. I'm down here in the beautiful California.
I mean, I don't want to go to Seattle to work either. I mean, that's being in an office is depressing enough, and then if you look outside and it's raining.
Yeah. Now, here's a question. I've worked from Starbucks from time to time, which I know is kind of fucked up. Like Starbucks, like you're supposed to support local coffee shops and things like that. But
Right.
truth be told, Starbucks often has better Wi-Fi, like some of the best Wi-Fi. If you're in like a sketchy remote town,
Uh
the
huh.
Starbucks will usually have good Wi-Fi.
That is
Now,
so true.
if what if one of those Seattle workers works from a Starbucks coffee shop? Does that count as being in the office? And if you're working remotely from there,
I feel like it does count. Like, in my opinion, you're on Starbucks Wi-Fi.
that's
You're
true.
drinking Starbucks coffee, you're eating Starbucks food, you're surrounded by Starbucks employees.
You're literally giving your salary in that time because I feel like to work there, you have to buy something. So they're literally
Yeah.
giving away part of their salary just to be there. So yeah, I feel like that should count.
Yeah, that 100%. And this guy actually came from Chipotle too, so he's got quite the resume.
Wow. I
Yeah,
mean,
he used he used
I'd say that's a downgrade.
you I would agree. Like I would rather have free Chipotle burritos over like free,
Yeah.
pumpkin spice lattes, but
Is this a
that's
hot
just
take? The Starbucks food is trash?
no, I think it is trash. But so all the cafe food is like all the little like you see the sandwiches like in the window. You know it's
Yeah.
gonna suck. Every time I buy
Yeah.
something like that, I'm like, I know this is gonna be terrible, but I have no choice.
Yeah. They're like plasticky. Like I don't know. They don't have hot sauce, which really bothers me at Starbucks. Like they don't have. Sometimes they'll give me a sriracha packet, but I need something more than that. A little more fiery.
Yeah, and I just need substance. Like those sandwiches are like $13 and I'm still hungry after and it's like the bread that's like the flaky it's like the equivalent
Oh,
of airport food, but you're not in an
yeah.
airport.
Yeah. The bread sucks for sure.
Yeah, and yeah. So I always try to eat, but that is like one of my like remote working things is like I always try to eat before I go to a cafe
That's a good tip.
because otherwise I end up eating this weird cafe food that just leaves me yearning for more, and I'm not,
Yeah,
it's hard to focus, you know.
that's a really good idea. Maybe sneak something in like it's a movie theater, like you just or like Napoleon Dynamite vibes, like you're just pulling tots out of your pocket while you're sitting in Starbucks. That could be a good move too.
I mean, maybe this guy is gonna do some sort of like Starbucks Chipotle combo. Think about that, Steve.
I don't know if the world's ready for that, dude. Holy shit.
I'll take a
The
steak
bean, the
burrito
bean,
with a
the
PSL.
beans are coffee. The beans are coffee beans. They're like, do you want pinto, black, or coffee beans on your burrito?
Do you want Ethiopian?
Some extra crunch on there.
Man, talk about blowing
Uh,
up your bathroom though, serving a ton of coffee and Chipotle burritos. The
that's a
logistics there.
dead, deadly combo.
Yeah. So,
Fuck. All right. So we moved on from we were talking about pee a lot in the first couple episodes. Now we're talking about poop in this episode.
twice,
So
dude. What is going
yeah,
on? Like,
yeah. That's
technically.
all right. We'll try to give people some more mature content. Maybe not.
But Steve, what
That's
do you
not
think
fun.
about like the CEO? He's not doing what his employees are doing. There's not a lot of servant leadership there. It,
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like you should, if you're going to tell everyone to go to the office, you should be there every day. Otherwise, it's kind of like, you know, rules for you, but not for me. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's like authoritarian shit. Like I'm better than you. I'm above the law. That kind of shit. Yeah, I could see people getting pissed off about that. I would. That's for sure.
Right, right. And now we have a mutual friend who works at Starbucks, I mean at Chipotle, corporate. And she had a
Mhm.
cool rule where if you work at Chipotle corporate, you had to work on the line a few days before you got the job. So I wonder if they're going to do that with Starbucks, right? I feel
That
like
would be
that would be important.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
you got
no.
like some executive sales job and you got to go and make coffee for a few days. I think it's a good idea. Like
Now, do you think the executives, like the CFO, let's say he has to go work at Starbucks at a coffee shop, like do they have to dye their hair purple just for those few days, or like get a wig, like a purple wig, just for those few days, and then they take it off when they go back to the office, or how does that work?
Yeah, I probably. Do you think they automatically start to like spell basic names wrong, like Joey without like the E?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I mean, I think they train them to do that. I have a conspiracy theory that like they think that goes viral because it does. It's free.
Yeah.
People always post that shit on social media. So I feel like they're like, hey guys, we need you to misspell Jack as boner, jack off, like something ridiculous. And so it'll go viral. That really helps with the free publicity. Thank you.
And the CFO's like, "Watch, let me show you how it's done." You know?
Gets really wild with it. But no, it's funny. There's a lot of mandates trending right now to go back to the office in the corporate world, which obviously we don't like to hear. I know the one that's being talked about a lot is Amazon. I know like in January they're making everyone go back. And some people are saying it's actually there. Here's another conspiracy theory that it's kind of an involuntary layoff. So
Mm.
instead of being like, oh, we're big and bad, we're laying off all these people, they're just mandating that they return to office after like 4 years, right, of working remote. And so now everyone's quitting because of that. So instead of having to lay them off, they just quit themselves. So kind of playing chess, not checkers there.
I think it. I mean, I think that is kind of a smart move on their part, but it's a little bit disingenuous, right? Like if you're a guy who like, oh, I live in Chicago and I applied for this job because it was remote and I've been doing a good job and I have a family and all these friends and I love the Bears. Like I don't want to
Mhm.
move to, Seattle. Like that's not like why I signed up for this, but you're also like losing a potentially a good employee. But
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, hopefully these mandates stop. I don't know. I think it's a boomer mindset. They're like, you got to be in the office. Yeah, fucking
butt in a suit.
synergy and stuff. Yeah, butts in seats. I know a lot of companies are going the other direction too because it does attract good talent. So if you want good talent and they want to work remote, then a lot of companies are allowing that. So we'll see in a year or two like what the trend is. But
And, I've also heard that because you can, recruit remotely, the talent pool is bigger and you could potentially get people for cheaper. So it's not all good for, people who only want to work remote, right?
facts, facts.
But
Yeah,
I do love the office, Steve. I love going to like WeWork or some co-working place where it's like I don't actually work with any of these people, but like we're all there like working. It's great. Like I have no problem leaving at 2 p.m. I'm not like worried like okay, like they saw me come in at 8 a.m. Like it doesn't matter. Like it's like it's a great experience when your boss isn't there.
yes, that is very different. I'm totally cool with co-working spaces. But like I remember when I was working for a big company in Denver, like it was a lot harder to take naps. Like I would go to the common area because it was in a big skyscraper building in downtown Denver. And
Yeah.
we had two of the floors, but I would go down to like the common lobby area and I would sleep on the couches. And sometimes the security guard would come and wake me up and be like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude? You can't just sleep on this couch." I would literally bring my jacket, like it'd be the winter time, bring my coat and like roll it up, use it as a pillow, and sleep on the couch. So,
So was it
stuff like that. Huh?
what was it like far enough away from the mainstream people that you could actually sleep and you wouldn't see people?
Yeah. So there was like a first floor lobby where everyone's running around. And I think you had been in there because I think you worked in that same building, maybe? No, or
I
near it.
worked
But anyway,
like a block away or something.
yeah. So there's the main lobby, but then on the second floor, there's another kind of common space that had all these couches. It was like a chill area, but like no one was ever up there. It was really quiet, and
Oh,
so that's where I
okay.
would take my naps. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you were a nap guy. That's interesting.
Last thing about naps, and I'm not really anymore. This was back in my dumbass days. I've matured a
Okay.
lot since then.
Right.
Yeah, now I
Right.
just talk about poop and pee on a
Yeah.
podcast, but like I don't
Yeah.
sleep during work anymore.
Really grown.
Now, I had an internship way back in the day. I won't say the company name, but they had a nap room. Okay.
Okay.
This was a real thing. It was like a benefit this company thought, was really cool. You could go and you would have to check in and sign your name before taking a nap. And I think there was a limit, technically, like a 30-minute hour limit you could do. And
Wait, so as you
I
walk
was
up, you see a piece of paper with everyone who's like taking a nap that day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And there were like some nurses, like medical people in there. So if you needed I don't know, there was a lot going on in there. But yeah, they had these nap rooms. There was like a partition, like you would pull a curtain or something and nap by
Okay.
yourself. But what I would do was I would write someone else's name every time that I went and checked in there because I would use this room a lot.
Genius.
I was interning, like I wasn't doing shit. I was, hungover half the time. Like this was when I was like 21 or whatever. And yeah, I would just write someone else's name each time because they couldn't be like, see that Steve Geis was going in there every single day. Like I don't know how closely they track that, but I didn't want to jeopardize my internship for napping too much.
Wait, but Steve, would you put like other people's names that actually worked there, or would you just like make up random names?
Yeah, like Mickey Mouse or something like Samuel L. Jackson. No, I would put employees of the company, which was kind of fucked up. But it's not like I would do the same person every time. I would mix it up and just do like a different employee, usually a fellow intern. I would just write their name down.
Okay, so mostly interns. Did you ever do like the CEO, like, like oh, like the CEO of Starbucks is
No.
taking a nap again?
Here he is. He's working remote from California. He's taking naps.
His
But
whole
no, I
last
did
room's
not write
blocked
this.
off.
No, especially this particular CEO is one of the richest people in Kansas City. I didn't want to mess with him. Like he would probably get Patrick Mahomes to like fucking throw a football at my balls or something. Like he had
That would
that much
hurt.
power.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah.
So. All right. Good shit.
Yeah.
All right. What else should we talk about today? We have
So you got
Nomad
an
hacks.
yeah. This is a good one. Okay.
So this is how to get an Airbnb discount. We should probably have Airbnb sponsor us or something. We're giving them a lot of free ads talking about them. All three of our listeners, like they are hearing a lot about Airbnb, so we should get them to sponsor us at some point.
Yeah, we should. I would love a free month. That would be great.
Well, Jack, let's talk about how you can get some discounts though, either way, just in case you don't get that free month.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So the first one, this is an obvious one that I use all the time, which is book by the week or by the month. So a lot of listings will have discounts if you book for a week at a time or a month at a time. So instead of paying that daily rate every single day, they'll give you a monthly rate. So more comparable to what you might pay in rent or something like that for a month. So I utilize that one all the time.
And I really feel like this is a core reason why you always see nomads like, "Oh, I'm staying for a month." Typically
Yeah.
that is why, because this is when it becomes affordable.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Also, I think moving around too much, beyond just the Airbnb reason, but that is a big one. But I think moving around too much could burn you out. Like if you're
Yeah.
traveling every week, then you're going to be like, wow, I can't do this. But if you stay for a month longer, you can settle in. It makes it easier.
Yeah.
Another one is book more nights than you need. So, sometimes let's say you want to stay for 25 days and you're not hitting that monthly yet. Sometimes if you go for a month, let's say you only need 25 days, but you book for the full month, sometimes with that monthly discount, it will be cheaper. Yeah, so that's a good little hack. And then sometimes if I don't know my exact dates, I'll just book, as long as they have free cancellation or whatever. I'll book for a long time, and then I can always cut out days if I need to. Whereas you might not necessarily be able to extend if someone else books those nights. So I'll book for a long time before I really know exactly the dates that I need.
Yeah, that's good. I've always had some awkward times where it's like, "Oh, well, yeah, someone's booking it for like 2 days, but you could come back in 3 days." And I'm always like, I don't know, like, for even though I know other people are staying here, it like by the time I stayed for a month, I feel like it's my house.
Yeah,
And then for
yeah,
someone to live in my house for 2 days, then I come back. I don't know, it's weird.
yeah. It's like this was my bed, and now some rando from God knows where is using my pillow, like breathing on it where I just was. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, just it's I don't know, the psychology there is good. That is a good tip, especially for someone like me who has zero clue when they're leaving.
Yeah, exactly. So another tip is we've utilized this one a couple times. Book a new listing. So a
Ooh,
newly listed
yes.
Airbnb that maybe doesn't have any reviews yet. So a lot of new listings will have low introductory prices to attract those initial clients. And so that's like we've gotten some super cheap place just because we were the first person to ever book it.
Mm-hmm.
And you should definitely make sure they're legit. Maybe message the host to get a vibe, make sure they're not a crazy person. You can check the host ratings for other listings as well if they have other properties. And if all else fails, Airbnb now has air cover. So if it's not legit, like you show up because there's no reviews yet, so how would you know? But if you show up and it's not what was advertised, Airbnb will refund you and find a new place for you.
Is air cover automatically included, or do you have to pay? Is it like travel insurance? Okay.
It's automatically included, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that's nice. And then most of the time, like when we've stayed, when we've been the first guest, the host like tries super hard to make us happy, right? Like they want the first review to be a good one. So they're just giving us free wine. Like these people had stocked our fridge with like all this food. They're always checking in, like making sure everything's good. Like if we said anything was wrong, they would like freak out. They're like, "Oh, here, I'll give you like a bigger discount. Don't worry about it." I'm like, it's fine. But yeah, they really care about that first review because that can make or
Steve,
break them. Break.
this
Yeah,
reminds me of our very first Nomad Airbnb in West Palm when it was that guy's first thing and we got like wine and he was super nice and had all this stuff for us set up. So that, yeah, totally.
the coastal cottage, baby.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that guy was super nice
Yeah,
to us.
that dude was a homie. He even mailed your like headphones back to you or something that you left there, I think.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that.
So that
Yeah,
was
that's
chill.
right. To Austin, I think.
Yeah. Um, okay. And next tip. Now, this one needs to be done with a lot of respect, which is asking the host for a discount. So if you don't see a discount on there, you can message them and you got to realize these people are already offering their home to strangers, so
Hmm.
it's good to have. You can't just be like, hey, I don't want to pay this much, dude. No, you got
Yeah.
to have a reason. Like, you say, hey, this is just over my monthly, like, this is my monthly budget. I'd like to try to stay under that. Or if you're staying long term, if for some reason they don't have a monthly discount, I'll just be like, hey, I don't even ask. I'll just be like, hey, do you have a discount for a monthly stay? And then sometimes they'll reply and be like, oh, yeah, it's not automatically applied, but I'll throw something on there for you.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like that should be standard, the monthly discount. So if it's not on there, got to do something about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's not always standard. Like the host has to plug that in there to make sure it gets applied. But yeah, I've used this method a few times. Obviously, it's not my favorite thing to do, but it's always worth a shot. The worst they can say is no. So whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if maybe
Um,
you can look like,
yeah.
oh, like it hasn't been booked in a while as well. Like maybe some
Hmm.
people will be like, okay, well, I just need to get some money.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what their situation is, so yeah, it's always worth a shot.
Hmm.
So and then there's always the invite friends or like use a friend's code if they're new to the platform, which I don't know who doesn't have Airbnb yet these days. But yeah, that's always something. Another one, I haven't actually used this yet. So I saw this on the internet. I don't know if this will work for sure, but if you add your work email to your existing Airbnb account, then confirm the email, just go to your inbox and confirm it. Then when you check the traveling for work box, when you book an Airbnb of $250 or more, they'll give you a $25 coupon for your next stay.
Ooh,
So
okay, okay. That's
yeah, I
great.
don't I know that at least was active at one point. I don't know if it still is. I did just add my work email to my Airbnb account, so I'll see if it works on my next stay and we'll update people and see if that works.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I got to try that as well. I got a few work emails.
You're a busy guy.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
All right. Enough free publicity for Airbnb. Jack, let's do our location highlight. I think you need to talk about Tbilisi or whatever the hell it's called. I'll have you pronounce it.
Yeah, Tbilisi, and I could still even be pronouncing it wrong. I know I was there for like a month, month and a half, but that could still be wrong. But it is the capital of Georgia, not the state in the U.S., but the country. And it's
Oh, okay. Because
right.
all that I know about Georgia is like, Atlanta. You got strip clubs, rappers, a lot of rap music.
The
Peaches. I know
Bulldogs.
Justin Bieber gets his peaches from there. Oh yeah, the Bulldogs. Who could forget the
Yep.
dogs?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Southern
my only knowledge
hospitality.
of. Yeah, biscuits and gravy, grits, maybe.
Yeah. I don't think I've actually been to outside of the Atlanta airport. I don't know if I've been to Georgia.
I went there like driving through it as a kid. We were going to Florida or something, but yeah, I haven't really experienced it either.
Oh, maybe I have driven through it for like spring break or something. Yeah.
You crossed
Okay.
that Florida Georgia line.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then went down to the Floribama line.
Oh, those are some good lines. Let me tell you.
But this Georgia is actually sort of like northeast of Turkey. It's along the coast. It's on the eastern coast of the Black Sea, and it's kind of surrounded by the Caucasus Mountains, and you got the Black Sea
Oh,
beaches. It's technically considered to be in Europe, but I don't really understand how that's possible because it's in Asia, but they consider themselves in Europe, and I mean, I respect that. You know, whatever you want to do is fine. They're just lines we made up anyway. Um,
sure.
but Georgia, it's a really cool place. They have incredible wine. They have incredible food. And it's really funny because Georgia actually comes from a Greek word that essentially means farmer. So it's sort of like land of the farmers. And so that's why it's so fertile. Actually, Georgia is the first place that they discovered, or the oldest winemakers in the world. So they discovered winemaking over 8,000 years ago. So and so they know how to have a good time, Steve.
Damn. Yeah, they don't get a lot of recognition for the wine thing. I feel like a lot of other countries are known as these wine destinations, Italy, France, but like I
Yeah.
feel like I need to have some Georgian wine.
Yeah, now Steve, this is great for you, okay? I always think about you with this. So they have these things called Georgian supras, okay? Where it's sort of like
Mm.
a gigantic feast, and there's like a leader of the feast, okay? It's called a kantsi. I'm sure I'm pronouncing this wrong, but it's
Yeah.
okay. And this guy, it's usually a guy, and he has like a big like ram horn, okay? It's like a big hollow ram horn, and it's filled with wine, filled to the
Oh,
brim,
fuck yeah.
okay? So this guy's
Yes.
got this guy's got to like get up in front of like everyone at the feast, and he has some incredible speech, gets everyone riled up, and then he has to finish the all of the wine in the horn, okay?
Let's
And
go. The Georgian beer bong.
yes, and it is perfect. It is a perfect engineering design. It's because it's a horn, right? It's not a glass, so you can't set the horn down on the table because it doesn't like stand straight up, right? So you have to finish it. Otherwise, you're like holding on to it for the rest of the night because you can't set it down because it's gonna spill.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's like Edward Forty Hands also. And it's
Exactly.
wine. You can't fuck with wine. Like if it's red wine, you don't want to be staining stuff. So yeah, your only option is to just chug that bad boy.
Yeah, you literally, yeah, it's do or die. And if you're gonna make an epic speech and get everyone riled up, and you're not gonna finish the wine, I mean, it's not as impactful, right?
They'll replace you as feast master. They'll be like, all right, we
Yeah,
need a more alpha feast
yeah, you're
master.
done after that. Like, you disrespected the group. Like, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wow,
so
that's
these things
great.
have like at least half a bottle, like a half to like a full bottle to maybe even more than a full bottle. So you got to also make sure you pick a wine that's like chuggable. Like, I don't want some
Okay.
heavy wine. Like, you better get something in there that you can handle.
Yeah, there's some strategy to this. Okay. All right. I like this.
So yeah, something maybe we can kind of experience together. We'll kind of get you up there and get you speak. And I think you could chug a bottle. That could happen.
Yeah, yeah. I did participate in winechug.com that one time.
Shout
Took me
out.
like took me like 20 minutes though. So, but I'll do some training before we go to Georgia.
Yeah, yeah, and the training will be fun. It's not going to be like, training for a marathon or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just gonna be us drinking wine. So yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
so yeah, it'll be great. Yeah.
Cool.
Uh and so yeah, they got great wine, they got great food. They have these like little dumplings that are called like king kalis. I don't even know. And they're just like sort of like little soup dumplings. And
Mm.
these Georgian women are all always making them all day, and I would always go and like pick them up and bring them home because they were cheap,
Pick
and
up
that
the
means they didn't.
women,
No,
pick up the women and bring them home.
just the dumplings. I stick to the dumplings.
Dumplings. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that, George women, I'm sure they're great, but I was sticking to the food on that trip. Uh,
Got it.
another interesting thing is their language is like literally not like any other language on earth. So you have no reference point to like like be able to speak their language. It's not like Latin or like, based on
Hmm.
like any of the Eastern Asian languages. They're kind of in this weird part of the world where like their dialect of their language tree is like the only one that's left. So you have zero hope of learning this language. It looks absolutely crazy. I'll make sure to have a photo up of the language
Wow.
when
Yeah.
we edit this podcast. So
What does
it
it
really
sound like? If you had to like just give a little excerpt, what does it sound like?
like I just literally I don't even know how to I don't even like it's like blah, blah like it's just it almost
Okay.
sounds Russian with some like blahs in there. Wow,
Okay.
I feel
All
so
right.
what an American thing to say.
We're just like every other language besides English. It sounds like Russian. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Like, see, yeah, and I apologize truly. Like, I love Georgia. I'm sorry. It's just the language is tough, but there is always the good thing about that is they realize that, right? So they all speak incredible English. They know,
Oh, okay.
they know that no one's learning that language, so they stick to English, and I think
I
that's
yes, yeah, I've come across that in other countries, like the small Nordic countries like Norway, everyone speaks English. Albania, you think anyone
yeah,
in the world's gonna fucking speak Albanian? I don't think so. So they all know
yeah.
English pretty well.
Yeah, like come on, like it's so that's a benefit, right? And God bless us for being able to have English as our first language. It really helps, right? So,
Whew. Yeah, I'm thankful every day for that.
but okay, so Tbilisi itself, right? That's sort of like it's the capital, and it's one of those classic like post-Soviet cities where you have all these weird Soviet architecture, but then you also have a lot of really beautiful churches because it was actually one of the earliest adopters of Christianity in the world, second to only Armenia. So they have some beautiful old churches that are older than America. And so it's a cool because Soviet Russia is traditionally not super religious, but Georgia has a deep history of religion, so it's sort of this cool dichotomy of churches versus weird cell towers that look like they should be in Star Wars.
Got it. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting dynamic. I like it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And okay, and sort of the final thing I would love to discuss is that they're very anti-Putin, and a lot of people actually don't know this, but Russia invaded Georgia before they invaded Ukraine. So in 2008, they actually occupy two different large areas in Georgia. And so the Georgian people are obviously like not happy about this, but Ukraine got all the publicity, in 2014 and then also in now for the invasion, but Georgia was kind of first, and they really couldn't do anything about it. And so currently to this day, there is two large areas kind of by the Black Sea and up to the north that are occupied by Russia. Now, the Georgian people can go to and from, but is guarded by sort of like Russian military, uh, sort of that
Damn.
situation. Yeah,
Hashtag free Georgia.
yeah. Now here we go. Here's even something crazier, right? So I'm a co-work guy, so I go to this co-work in Tbilisi, and I'll get a photo up here. But to work at this co-work, I had to sign a petition. Okay, and this petition said, you know, I had to agree that Russia's aggression against Ukraine is a crime against humanity. I had to agree that Russia invaded Georgia in 2008. I had to agree that like Putin is a threat to world peace. So I had to like sign this piece of paper, or they weren't going to let me like work at this co-working place.
Wow. Okay. Like you think it's not like you're doing anything great. You're just going to a co-working space. It's not like you're trying to
Yeah.
like get a job in their government or something like that. You're just like going to an office and you have to be like say all these things. Interesting.
Yeah, like like look, I'm showing you my American passport. Like I'm part of the good old boys. Like I've seen
Yeah.
Air Bud, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You should just write that. I've seen Airbud. And they're like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah, we're
sense.
good. Like I love Step Brothers. Like I promise, like I'm not like I don't like
Yeah,
Putin.
baseball. Yeah, I like baseball. I don't like Putin. Okay, there's a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. So they're really, I mean, they're for real about this. They're like, this is not cool with us. And the city is very, I almost think it's like Steve in middle school. It's very punk. They got like a lot of really cool graffiti, art, street art. Like everyone kind of dresses a little like they still love Metallica and stuff like that. It's very, it's kind of got that vibe, right? And so they also have all of these you know, the street art basically like denouncing Putin everywhere in the city. They'll have like on the dumpster it'll be like it'll say like Putin's home, things like that.
On the dumpster.
Yeah, like
That's
on the
incredible.
dumpster. Yeah, so they it's a really unique vibe. I truly had a really good time in Georgia and
Okay.
Tbilisi in general. Yeah.
No, I want to go back to this emo vibe or this
Yeah.
punk rock kind of vibe
Yeah.
because I don't know if everyone knows this, but I actually have an emo background myself.
Right.
So
PhD.
I think I would be able to slide in there and fit in. Like I kind of know the style, I know that vibe. You know, I'll just give a quick background, right? So when I was in seventh grade or so, it started out with skateboarding. Okay, I was a soccer player, but I pretended to be a skateboarder. Like I thought that was cool. So I started to get into that style. My hair got a little bit longer, and
Uh-huh.
gradually my pants got tighter. Like I just started wearing girl pants or just skinny jeans. So my hair would get longer,
Did your hair
shoes would
get
get
straighter?
fatter. Yes, so I had a hair straightener, and I would straighten my bangs, and I had these emo bangs going down the front of my face.
Okay, okay.
My sister would get pissed because I'm wearing her jeans, I'm using her hair straightener. People like to say that I wore eyeliner, but I never did. Okay, I never wore eyeliner. I didn't take it
All
that
right.
far, but
For the record,
yeah. But Van slip-ons, the checkered Vans, all that shit. I was rocking that shit. So, and then
classic
I was
sibling
full on,
rivalry.
yeah. Although I called myself scene, not emo, because I wasn't actually like sad or emotional. I was just seen. I just looked like it. I was a fucking poser at the end of the day.
But you could still ollie on a skateboard, right?
Oh yeah, I could kickflip and shit like that. Maybe ollie like a seven stair, something like that.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of stair. Wow. Okay. So that's legit.
So
That doesn't feel like you were a poser. You did it
yeah,
all.
I was no right. I wasn't a poser. Like my board wasn't from Walmart. Yeah, I wasn't a full on poser, but deep down inside, like I knew I was a soccer playing pussy. I wasn't this like badass punk rock skateboarding guy. So by the time I got to high school and I started trying to hang out with the cool kids, but I noticed they wouldn't invite me to stuff because they're like, this guy wears girl pants and he can put his bangs in his mouth. I don't think we can like invite him to hang out with us this weekend. So I
Yeah.
started to kind of gradually go the other way. My pants started to loosen up, hair was getting shorter, and now you see the guy that you see today.
A little more, maybe some vineyard vines.
Yeah, then this like frat thing took over, and I that was its own douchey style. I've
Right.
calmed down on that, but obviously my hat is still backwards, so some things never die.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take a little bit from every part of your life, Steve. So it's a
It's
journey.
it's a it's a journey, right, dude? I mean, you had that phase. I don't know. What were your phase? Oh, the DJ phase. Obviously, that
Yeah.
was sick.
The long hair. Yeah. Yeah. The
DJ
tennis
Jesus. Yeah,
phase.
because you had long hair. And the
Yeah.
best was, when you were DJing in the Jesus outfit, the Jesus robe, and everyone was like,
Yeah.
oh, Jesus is DJing for us. That's awesome.
And it's just like you. It's like, I'm sure you're thankful for wearing normal fitting pants. And I'm thankful that I don't have long hair because, props to the ladies, but it sucks showering with long hair. Let me tell you, you got to wait so long for that to dry.
Did you have a blow dry? Kind of like how I had the hair straightener. Did you use a blow dryer or no?
No, I would no, I would just have to plan like 2 hours ahead to make sure it's like, okay, I'm not doing anything. Like if I'm taking a
That's
shower.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
But Steve, Tbilisi might be for you. We might get you back into a pair of
Yeah,
skinny jeans and get you out there chugging some
I
wine under the
know.
horn.
I know. Yeah, I need to get the emo style going, chug the wine. You've kind of got me gassed up to get out there and check it out. 'Cause,
It's
yeah,
really Yes, it
yeah,
was really cool. It was definitely the most underrated place I've ever been. Like maybe I just didn't do a ton of research beforehand, but I felt like I was like, wow, more people need to come here. This is truly it fits, right? It's like you want to go out of some far off place and see some interesting stuff and hear a language I can't even tell you one word of, like, but they have their own culture. They got their own thing going on, and I hope they get their country back because it's great.
yeah, and I hope they get some more recognition out there because you just don't hear people talking about Georgia very often, whether it's about wars that they're experiencing or culture, food, other things. So this is us promoting Georgia, just like we do with Airbnb and poop stories.
Yeah, so sometimes we're serious.
Yeah, yeah, that was serious. Cool. Well, should we wrap up? I know we had another topic today, but we're kind of running out of time, so we'll save that for next time. But yeah, we can wrap this biatch up and just get pumped for the next episode.
That's right. And well, it was a pleasure. And always remember to take a weird trip.
Take a weird trip. Bye, y'all.